What is up, Sideways fam? Welcome back to the channel. You guys asked for it, so we're actually getting it done. I got my Gs300 on the lift right now, and we got a whole bunch of goodies that we're going to be putting in the car and getting this thing on the road. I have a whole bunch of list of stuff to work down, so this is probably going to be a few different segment video, but we're going to kind of do this in increments. My opinion of what I wanted to do initially was I was going to do NAT in the car and kind of cater to that community, but we do so much NAT now, it kind of seems pretty pointless. So what I went ahead and did in this video, I will show you right now. I have my engine right there on a stand, but we're gonna go ahead and put it in all JDM Aristo, and for a GTE swap, we're gonna go ahead and use the Aristo transmission. We're gonna go ahead and order in the JDM drive shaft, bolt that in the car, get the car running and driving. I'm not gonna put it in with stock twin turbos. We're gonna go ahead and put it in with the big single, because obviously there's no point of going backwards. We need to go forwards. We have some delete stuff we got to do, but let me go ahead and show you what we're doing right now while they're getting the engine ready to get out of the car. Alrighty guys, so as you can see right here, we have our 2jz GTE engine. We got our full exhaust manifold on here already. We got our intake manifold we're going to be going ahead and putting on. I'm going to be painting everything black. I got a Borg Warner turbo I'm going to be putting on this thing that I have had sitting around forever, a John Deere. We're going to be throwing on there. I'm not sure if I'm going to run this peak boost manifold, or I'm gonna go ahead and run like the standard treadstone manifold. I'm not really too sure because of fitment, you know what I mean? We don't really know how we're gonna be with the intercooler and everything too. So we're gonna have to pull the bumper out real quick, get the engine out, and I'll start getting this assembled right now. So let's get it. Now I know this is gonna be a little redundant for everybody who knows how to do this already, but I'm gonna go ahead and kind of walk you through what you need to do to pull this out of a car, just for all you newbies that wanna learn. If not, I'm sure you guys can fast forward through all this stuff. First thing you're gonna wanna do is go ahead and drain all the radiator dry out of your drain tube right here. Go ahead and loosen this, drain it into a bucket. Just like this, let it all come out. And then basically what's gonna happen is you're gonna go ahead and remove your automatic transmission lines from the radiator. You're gonna go ahead and come over here, blast out your 2 bolts for your engine mounts. You'll go ahead and remove your ground right here from the block. And then you're gonna go ahead and come down to your cats. Now your cats are gonna go ahead and unbolt this, the 3 bolts right here that have a gasket, to your mid pipe right here. And then basically what we're gonna do is we can just either leave this attached, or usually I just pull the whole entire drive shaft out. So you'll go ahead and unbolt the 3 bolts here. You'll unbolt the carrier bolts that are right there. And then you can go ahead and unbolt your bolts back here at your differential. Everything in the back, you'll be able to just pretty much leave there. So all you'll do is right here at your cross member, you'll go ahead and remove your 2 cross member bolts. This will come down. This bolt right here, you can either unbolt it, or there is a pin up here on this side that you'll see right here. This cotter pin, you'll go ahead and you'll just pull this out with your finger, pull back, grab the pin with your hand or some pliers. Hold up, I'm pulling this out right now. Okay, that's just flung off on the floor, it's right there. Now this just comes out, so this will just slide into here where we need it, and that's good to go. Then you'll go ahead and you remove your little ground right here. This is your fuel line. All our cars only have 1 fuel line here in the US. It goes to right there in the car. And then pretty much it's just going ahead and pulling off the power cable and the ECU stuff. So let me go ahead and do that. We're gonna actually leave the AC and power steering in the car so it doesn't make a mess and it can drain properly. And yeah, let's get her done. So this is part of the reason why I didn't want to keep the GE, guys. The trans is just, look at the freaking oil, dude. Gosh. It is just black as asphalt. Just horrible.
It's darker than night.
It's look at the floor on this thing, dude. This is horrible. So yeah, anyways, we're draining this out. We gotta drain the engine oil, everything else out real quick. We're still getting there. We're working on it. My problem right now is I cannot find a intake manifold gasket for the life of me for my engine. So I guess I'm gonna have to go snag one off of my other one in the office so I can get all that together. So give me a few minutes and we'll get back on it. Well, she's almost apart, guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys a couple other last things that you need to do when you're doing this kind of a disassembly. So obviously everybody pulled the intake and the intake pipe out. If you can't figure that out, then I don't know what to do. I can't help you. But as far as this goes, 2 brackets for the radiator, go ahead and pull that out. Disconnect your temp sensor for your fans. I'll turn your fans on. Make sure you guys disconnect your fan connectors. They're down at the bottom down there. the ECU stuff. The harness is really, really easy, you guys. You actually just unhook it right here, unplug everything, throw the harness over the engine. You leave the ECU in the engine bay. If you were just doing an engine replacement, in this case, we're gonna go ahead and pull it all out because we're gonna be putting the GTE computer in here. We actually make a jumper that'll go ahead and convert your, this is an 0304. So your 99 to 2000 cars, you'll have a older style computer where you can kind of plug in your JDM swap. In this car, it is set up like an IS300, where it has the different four row ECU versus a 3-row ECU. So I have a jumper that will actually convert your ECU connectors that are right here to an Aristo connector, so to the older year, and everything in the car will still work. It's really, really nice. Me and my buddy developed this a few years ago. It's super badass. So we're gonna go ahead and plug that in. I'll show you guys that later when we're getting that deep. Make sure you just get your throttle cable. If you don't connect this, it's not gonna wanna come out. Luckily there's nothing for ABS because these are all going to be electronic brakes, so there's no drama over here. We can go as big of a turbo as we want. ECU can stay up in the front, and everything else is good. I gotta say with these though, the headers on the GS300 are quite a bit better than the IS300 stuff. All my stuff is good, so that's awesome. Hopefully nothing breaks when it comes out. I'm not sure if I have any extra engine mounts, so I need to pressure wash the bay, clean it up real quick, and then we'll be getting the engine in. Alrighty guys, so we're pulling it out right now. Got the GTE on the stand basically done. So we're gonna still have to go ahead and put the Aristo Auto Trans onto the new engine, and still gotta do a few other things, but we're very close. Stay tuned. Alrighty guys, so Vinny's pulling up the bumper support right now. We already got the bumper off. We're gonna go ahead and remove all this, start making brackets for the intercooler, and figure out which intercooler we're going to put on to have it hang, because we want to make sure that we have pretty decent fitment. We got our 2jz GTEs that we had here. So this one already had the automatic flex plate on it. So I gotta seal this one off here because that one doesn't have one. And our Aristo transmission outside already has the bolts and torque converter and everything else in it. So we're just kind of going through all this. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys my jumper that we go ahead and make and everything. So I already put the JDM ECU in here. As you can see, it's not immobilized, and you can see that it's not a 0304 ECU. This is the GE 0304 ECU. It is a little bit slender, but if you see, it is 4 pins high, not 3 pins high. This has now been converted from a 4-pin to now a 3-pin ECU. So this allows it to make everything work for the chassis because everything's all here. We'll have to go ahead and hook up all this stuff down in here once the harness comes in, plug everything in, and then everything in the car will work. So basically, this will be a plug-and-play swap regardless, because it's a 2jz GTE Vvti car, and it came in this car in Japan. So for all your Aristo swaps, it's pretty straightforward. We still need to go ahead and transfer over our engine mount brackets because I took those off at these things a long time ago and haven't had a chance to put them back on. I don't know which exhaust manifold we're gonna go ahead and choose to go with. I have this one that I just had on display. It's a Comp 68 with a Superstore manifold that we'll have to put a wastegate on and get that done. Or I may go with the Peak Boost manifold, or I may go ahead and go with the Treadstone manifold. I'm not really sure. I have a few different turbo options of what we're gonna do. We're gonna start the pressure wash the engine bay, but we'll do that later on after we get it in the car, only because I don't want to get water all over everything that we're gonna be doing, but we are going to clean it up so it looks really nice. So a few other quick little things too. We went ahead and left the power steering and the AC in the car, so we don't need to drain anything and deal with a bunch of huge mess when you move the car. Over here, we're going to go ahead and we've already put new valve cover gaskets in it, put new hardware in it for now just to go ahead and fire it. I got to go ahead and put a few sensors in that I'm missing, but everything for the most part is already all put together and ready to go. Yeah guys, it's looking pretty good. I'm pretty close to getting this all together, so in a few hours this thing should be running with the GTE in it. We're gonna go ahead and put it down on the floor, swap the flex plates right now, get the trans bolted on, and then we'll be starting to get it in the car. Alrighty guys, I was gonna save this for a whole nother video, but the video is not gonna be long enough for you guys. So we've already gone ahead and put on the JDM Aristo transmission. I'm hoping that everything that we got is good, since it was kind of all in pieces and had been hoarded for a long time. We just put the transmission lines on. So we're gonna go ahead and get this in the car. Right now, I'm modifying the treadstone manifold that we get. We go ahead and we put our own spin on it and have these available. I have to port the whole entire area from 30 38mm to a 44mm. So this is now the size of the flange. It's a pain in the ass. You got to use a carbide bit and do it by hand. It takes a little bit of time, but with the right kind of, you know, look at it, you can get a nice finish on it and a nice bowl on it. Then what we do is we go ahead and we weld the hole shut on both of these, TIG welded across, or welded on the inside and the outside to make sure it's not gonna break off. And then we have all the fitment in the world for this. So I've never seen one done in a GS with the treadstone cast manifold. So, and I'm pretty fond of it because we actually have a downpipe that we produce that fits perfectly with the treadstone. I wonder if it'll fit in the GS, but we're gonna go ahead and use it. They're gonna get it in the car right now. I'm gonna finish welding the manifold. And then we'll start fitting up turbo. Hopefully we can get the intercooler stuff done today and maybe even have this whole entire car done in one day. Well, just like that, we're already in. We're already in the car. You jumped the gun on that one, Vinny. Sorry we didn't record us dropping it in. I think you guys have already seen us do this obviously like a billion times. So it gets a little redundant having to watch us do the same shit every single time. So we're gonna get the AC and power steering stuff hooked back up, the harness plugged in, and I'll start on the intercooler. All right guys, so a little bit later update. We're getting the radiator hoses done. Gonna start mounting the intercooler up. Vinny's pulling out the washer fluid motor because we're gonna have to go down and around into the intercooler. On this side, we're gonna have to start piping it up. I went ahead and with the treadstone manifold, as you guys saw me porting it earlier. It's looking like we're gonna have possibly a shock tower issue with where everything's ran. So I don't know if we're gonna have to just maybe relocate this wire to hooking up over here and then run it up and across and around, or I don't quite know yet, but I'm gonna grab a turbo right now and see what we're gonna do. So I got something pretty funny we're doing actually. I had this old brand new John Deere twin scroll Borg Warner I have. It's a S300 series turbo that we're gonna end up using. It's definitely like pretty old school, but I mean, I've never used it. It'd be pretty funny, and it doesn't spin too bad. So I already put the fittings in it. It's Marmon flange in the rear, so we'll have to go ahead and do that, but it's pretty funny. It's got the John Deere front and the John Deere rears, so we're gonna be powered by John Deere. John Deere! So we're pretty balls deep in the intercooler piping right now. I'm custom building all this stuff. Vinny's cutting up some more piping right now. We need to clean up, and I'm gonna do a nice bend right here. I got the intercooler to get mounted super nice and easy. This is gonna be really tight radius, so it looks really good. This side will be done. I'll show you guys in a second. As soon as we're done, we're just mocking this side up. It should be good though, dude. Look at this, looks pretty good. Alrighty guys, sorry for the inconvenience. Been a busy last couple days, but as you can see, the GS has had a huge makeover, and the GTE stuff is already ready to start. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over the car real quick and go over all the stuff that I went ahead and have done, so I can go ahead and do the first crank and startup of this thing, and then also finalize everything, and that'll be the end of the video. So mind the mess because it is freaking nasty underneath here. And I will kind of show you this really quickly, but just like the IS300, you'll go ahead and have to put a bulkhead fitting in, where you'll be basically welding off the fuel pressure regulator that's in the fuel pump. I will grab a fuel pump hanger just to show you if this is your first time watching this. But we do this all the time. So you're gonna have to basically tap in a return line fitting. Now I have a 6AN45 nylon 6AN line that's running to the front of the car. Then after you're done with that, it's just gonna be as easy as just closing it up. With my harness, you won't have to go ahead and wire anything. Kind of showing you how it works in the IS. So this is what your hanger will look like. You'll have a fuel pump in this. And then really quickly, this is your top lid that you'll have. The whole thing will go together like this in your car, and you'll see there's only one feed line in this. Your fuel pump will be inside, yada, 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 and you'll have your whole return system in here. But basically what you're gonna do is you're gonna go ahead and drill a port right where that hole is right there, directly up, have your fitting be up here on the top, coming out, and then that's all you're gonna be doing. And then, I don't know if I have an assembly here that I can show you, but basically there's gonna be a Venturi right here, and you're gonna have a 90 fitting that drops into this. And let me show you real fast if I have one. Great, I do have one. So really quickly, here's another whole assembly. This is for an Aristo. So the regulator right here Yeah, this is the Aristo Hanger. You can see this is the one that all you guys are going to want to buy. The part number from Toyota is right there, but this is out of a actual JDM Aristo. So as you can see, they went ahead and put the drain line from the return that's already factory done in there. And then this regulator right here, you'll want to go ahead and basically pull this out, JB weld the inside of this or weld this shut, which I normally don't do. I actually just go ahead and pull this out in here, and I weld that shut. I put you know, keep it all nice and clean, do it real quick, pop it back in, and then we don't have any problems. And then you'll have to make sure you go ahead and hook up your Venturi, or in your saddle style tank in the back of the car, the fuel will not transfer from one side to the other side. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give it a whirl. Let's see if we get power to the car. Let's get in real quick. I went ahead and already did the throttle cable, so I'm going to put all that stuff away. Let's see what we got. Well, everything's making a bunch of noise, so got everything in here going. Let's give her a key. Okay. See, we're in the 4-door goodness. The 2jz GTE swap 100 is done. We're going to be going ahead and testing this thing out today. We're on a cruise with the boys. This thing is dirty and all nasty and still needs to be whatever, but we're gonna test everything out to make sure this thing runs good. It's not gonna blow up. We got a 2-hour drive to Julian, California with the boys. Everyone's in front of us. I'll give you a quick little shot of everybody while we're rolling. This thing is super fun. I definitely have to say was worth the money and worth the wait for me to be able to do it. The transmission actually shifts really, really well. I mean, plenty of power for a street car. I went ahead and already did my exhaust work, put my 2 mufflers on in the rear. So, I mean, everything looks really, really good. I love how, like, OEM and stock it is. And we're going to go ahead and go. So let's go. I didn't even get it. The window's so fucking dirty. Alrighty guys, so this is gonna go ahead and conclude this video. It's been a long road with this car. Super stoked and excited that everything is done and that she's running and that everything is just super awesome with this thing. It's a lot of fun. I never really thought that I would have an auto car that would be you know, just being cruised around like turbo like this and really enjoying it. But I'm kind of starting to rethink the whole automatic thing. I mean, like, dude, as a daily for a cruiser where you can still go rip with the homies, this thing's like plenty fast. So the little pull that we got, I didn't get too many videos of me driving the car, only because obviously everyone else is driving in all their cars with a stick. But I mean, the one, I can just tell you from experience, dude, this thing is freaking fast. I'm actually really excited that I was able to keep it with the homies. Car looks dope. I'm gonna be painting it, I'm gonna be lowering it, I'm gonna be keeping it pretty stock, so don't think I'm gonna get too crazy and make it all VIP with rims and a bunch of other crazy stuff. I'm pretty much just gonna keep it a super cruiser. I'm gonna paint the car black again. I'm just gonna go ahead and tint the windows and probably just lower it on the factory rims with some nice tires and call it a day. So until next time, guys, if you have any questions, any concerns, feel free to hit me up. Peace.